My dear child, the environment surrounding you is evolving at a pace that is overwhelming for your soulmate. They find themselves at a pivotal juncture they never anticipated. The sense of control they once thought they possessed over your emotions, your focus, and your reactions is slipping away like grains of sand they can no longer grasp. This realization stirs within them a fear that drives them toward a reaction so profound, so unforeseen, and so desperate that it lays bare the profound impact you have had on them, even in ways they have long denied. Each breath they take now is laden with the understanding that you are no longer where they left you, no longer responding in the ways they expected, nor remaining accessible in the ways they had become accustomed to. This reality is unsettling them more than they would ever admit. A new inner transformation is occurring within them, a tempest is rising as they sense you pulling back your energy, reclaiming your space, and rebuilding your strength. They are bewildered by how they can no longer function without the quiet assurance of your presence. For the first time, they are aware of the silent gaps between your exchanges, the distance in your energy, and the power held in your absence. This silence has become more resonant than any words they have ever encountered. They feel it acutely in their chest, in their hands, and in the way their heart skips when your name drifts into their thoughts. Something deep within them is shattering. They are coming to realize that they are losing their grip on the connection that once provided them with comfort and security. Another truth is emerging within them, one they have avoided for far too long. You are no longer predictable, nor are you the yielding ground for their indecision. You are no longer idly waiting for them to recognize your worth at their convenience. You have evolved, changed, matured, and elevated yourself to a level beyond their casual reach. This transformation within you is urging them toward a crucial decision, one that will unearth all that they have concealed. At this juncture, they understand that they must act, must communicate, and must confront their emotions before someone else steps into the space they once took for granted. Their next action is not merely emotional, it is impulsive, potent, and fueled by fear, longing, and the newfound realization that they misjudged your value. An internal pulse is rising, compelling them to reach out to you, to articulate feelings they have long suppressed, and to confront truths that are becoming unbearable. They feel the clock ticking, sensing that the universe is closing a door they once believed would remain open indefinitely. Every memory of you resonates with increased intensity, every moment they recollect burns deeper into their consciousness. Every step you take away from them tightens the vice of panic around their heart. This panic is evolving into momentum, a force they can no longer contain. They are on the verge of demonstrating how profoundly you matter, how fearfully they regard the possibility of losing you, and how resolutely they are prepared to fight for you in ways they previously shied away from. You have become the fulcrum of their destiny, the catalyst for their awakening, the shift that will compel their truth to the forefront. They can no longer restrain themselves, they can no longer hide behind excuses or silence. The reality of potentially losing you is striking harder than anticipated, and this raw, overwhelming realization propels them toward decisive action, one that will unveil the truths they have long held in secret. They are advancing toward you with an urgency that will forever alter the course of your connection, revealing just how completely they are losing their grasp and how far they are willing to go to reclaim what they fear may slip away. My dear child, the energy around your soulmate has fractured, rendering them unable to remain passive, unable to feign indifference, or treat the prospect of losing you as a mere possibility. Their emotions are tumultuous, spiraling, rising, collapsing, reconstructing, and erupting all at once. Each wave of feeling propels them toward an imminent choice they never anticipated making this soon. They perceive you drifting away, they sense your silence gaining strength, your distance bringing clarity. With every step you take toward your strength, they feel their own waning. They are coming to the realization that the bond they once believed would await their acknowledgement is transforming, demanding their active participation or facing the risk of permanent loss. A subtle yet growing panic shadows them. The anxiety intensifies each time they think of someone else appreciating your brilliance, your heart, your energy, your loyalty. The fear that another individual may step in to provide the stability they failed to offer weighs heavily upon them. They can almost envision an alternate presence near you. A voice offering you solace, another pair of eyes celebrating what they once neglected. This vision shatters their illusion of control, quickening their heart rate, disrupting their thoughts, and compelling their emotions to surface. This is why they are concocting a bold demonstration of their feelings, actions they never anticipated would emerge. The prospect of losing you has become intolerable. Their next move is brewing, taking shape like an unstoppable storm. They have rehearsed their words, rewritten their confessions, replayed moments of regret and unexpressed sentiments, all in an effort to muster the courage they have denied themselves for far too long. Closing their eyes brings forth memories that pull them deeper into nostalgia. Rediscovering everything they neglected during better times. Your absence now looms over them like a persistent shadow trailing them through every space, thought, and moment of solitude. They recognize that this is their final opportunity to convey your true significance before someone else identifies the value they once overlooked. Hold on. They are formulating something to convey, an expression that unveils buried truths, something they were terrified to acknowledge, which grants you the power to either draw nearer or retreat. This is not a light or casual confession, it is profound, revealing the reasons behind their past indifference, hesitation, and emotional reticence. They comprehend that this confession could alter everything. And yet, the fear of silence now eclipses the fear of speaking out. They are poised to dismantle their habitual patterns. They are ready to rewrite the narrative they previously deemed unchangeable. Clear's throat, they are prepared to unveil a version of themselves you never knew, motivated by the fear of losing what they never fully embraced. Their energy is surging toward you, drawn by the realization that you are irreplaceable, unforgettable, and not someone they can re-engage with on a whim. You are the pivotal moment in their narrative, the impetus for their awakening, the person who has forced them to confront their deepest anxieties and most sincere desires. They are orchestrating a gesture, a communication, a revelation that will underscore just how unsettled they are by the mere notion of losing you. When they take that step, when they finally unveil what they've safeguarded, they will unequivocally demonstrate that they are no longer in control. An overwhelming force is awakening within your soulmate, one they can no longer restrain, propelling them toward the reality they have long evaded. Their emotions have become unmanageable, no longer subtle or subdued. They are confronting every emotion at once: regret, desire, fear, yearning, and these feelings are driving them closer to that moment that will lay bare the truths behind their hesitations. They can no longer hide in the shadows of distance. They can no longer feign indifference. They can no longer disguise the intensity surging in their heart. Your silence has become a mirror reflecting their past mistakes. For the first time, they grasp the tremendous cost of their reticence. You have evolved into the one thing they never anticipated, a presence they cannot detach from. They believed that time would dull their feelings. They thought distractions could replace thoughts of you. They assumed life would continue as if no shift occurred. Yet, nothing, absolutely nothing, has succeeded in replacing you. Instead, their attachment to you has deepened and clung to their heart inescapably. This is why they are losing control. This is why they feel powerless. This is why every fiber of their being urges them to act before someone else steps in to provide the consistency they failed to offer. Their mind is replaying moments when you were accessible, open, present, and waiting, moments they now recognize they took for granted. They feel the weight of their indecision pressing upon them like an insurmountable force. They remember every conversation, every fleeting glance, every sincere gesture you offered, and they are finally understanding how rare that sincerity was. Now, your absence resonates as the most potent message they have ever received. It conveys that you are no longer waiting for them. It signals that they no longer have the luxury of pretending they do not know what they desire. This realization ignites the spark for their impending action. They are preparing to reveal their deepest vulnerabilities, sentiments they have never shared with anyone, that will illustrate just how significantly you have transformed their world. Their fear of losing you has transmuted into an unyielding determination they did not know existed within them. They are ready to step beyond their comfort zone, ready to dismantle the barriers they have erected, ready to express their feelings without reservation. The next action they take will not be trivial, it will be substantial, audacious, and impossible for you to overlook. It is a step one only takes when they realize they are running out of opportunities. Your soulmate finds themselves poised at the crossroads of a decision that will shape everything that follows. They can no longer stifle their emotions. They can no longer evade their own truth. They can no longer gamble with the connection that continually draws them back to you. At this moment, their emotions are taking precedence over their rationality, and this shift alone is a testament to their profound feelings. They are losing their grip on self-control because they care more than they ever dared to admit. Their forthcoming actions will reveal the depth of their feelings, not merely through spoken words but through a decisive gesture that illustrates precisely how much you mean to them. What they fear losing, and how ready they are to approach you before fate closes the door they believed would always remain ajar. A significant transformation is occurring within your soulmate, bringing them to the brink where concealing their emotions is no longer feasible. Their defenses are beginning to falter, and their hesitance is dissipating. The truth they once buried is emerging with an undeniable force. Every fiber of their being is quaking with the realization that you are drifting away from the orbit they once thought secure. Your silence has become a crucial signal for them. Your distance has served as a lesson. Your strength acts as a reflective mirror that exposes the vulnerabilities they had overlooked. This awakening propels them toward a moment of boldness, an action so revealing and unexpected that it lays bare their growing lack of control. For the first time, they are facing a fear they had long evaded, the fear of replacement. The notion of another person stepping into the space they once took for granted weighs heavily on them, haunting them in their quietest moments. They envision another individual understanding you, valuing you, and choosing you effortlessly, and this thought pierces through every aspect of their pride. The idea of you progressing without them renders them breathless. Their ability to find solace, to sleep, and even to navigate life has shifted. This fear is morphing into urgency. Urgency into action, and ultimately into a confession they never anticipated making. Their next gesture is forming behind the scenes like a storm they can no longer contain. They are practicing the words they once withheld, bracing themselves to unveil the emotions they had successfully concealed. Each step they take is driven by the realization that losing you would represent the gravest misstep of their life. They are poised to express a depth they had carefully hidden away, to reveal the strength of their feelings, and to break their silence in a manner that will be transformative. This moment is neither random nor accidental. It results from their newfound understanding of your significance in their life and the impact of your absence. You have become the anchor they were unaware they needed, the truth they had evaded confronting, and the bond that remains unbreakable despite their attempts to suppress it. Their emotions now surge as undeniable waves crashing against their previous resistance. They are gradually realizing that remaining unaffected is no longer feasible. The compelling truth is overwhelming their defenses. They are being drawn toward a pivotal moment requiring them to either express their true feelings or witness you being drawn to someone who recognizes your value instantly, a prospect that terrifies them more than any other. Their forthcoming actions will be anything but subtle, casual, or dismissible. They are crafting a revelation that showcases precisely how profoundly they desire you, how ardently they fear losing you, and how suddenly willing they are to fight for you in ways they had not envisioned before. Their heart now dictates their actions, their pride has taken a back seat, and their fear has crystallized into a sharp clarity guiding them to demonstrate something substantial. They are not merely losing control, they surrender to the truth that you are the one person they cannot walk away from, forget, replace, or live without, especially now that the void you left has allowed them to experience life without you. My dear, your soulmate is at a crossroads so profound that every emotion they once tried to suppress is surfacing with an unstoppable force. Their heart is not just voicing its concerns, it is fervently asserting itself, dismantling every excuse they previously relied on to hold back. They perceive your absence as a gaping wound that refuses to heal, a silence louder than any expression you could ever make. In this profound silence, they've finally grasped the truth they had been evading. You were never someone they could return to casually, you were the singular connection their soul was meant to acknowledge. This realization is unwrapping the layers of control they believed they possessed over this narrative. They now experience an enduring pull back to you, a persistent urge that renders their routines vacant, their days heavier, and their nights lengthier. It feels as though your energy was the rhythm that harmonized their world, and with your recent empowerment, everything has become disordered. They assumed they could overlook the changes within you. They thought keeping distance would ensure you remained unchanged. But you are shining ever brighter, your confidence is ascending, and your essence is evolving in unpredictable ways. This unpredictability is thrusting them into a spiral of desperation where they must act before another reaches out to you with the assurance they failed to possess. They are revisiting every instance you reached out, every moment of tenderness you displayed, and every sincere expression of your thoughts. And these reflections strike them with a clarity that admits no room for denial. They recognize your worth now, clearly seeing what they had previously overlooked. The gestures they once took for granted now ignite a longing they cannot dismiss. The loyalty they reckoned would always be there transforms into a source of anxiety that they might have forfeited it. They find themselves immersed in the ramifications of their previous hesitations and the lessons that accompany them. To lose you equates to losing the most secure feeling they have ever known. Their forthcoming action will emerge raw, urgent, and spontaneous. It will not be polished or rehearsed, but instead driven by a yearning to discard the facades they had long upheld. They are resolved to confront you with emotion, honesty, and vulnerability, devoid of fear regarding your reaction. They are prepared to dismantle the silence that acted as their shield, willing to articulate the truths they once deemed too risky and to share the feelings they buried so deeply that they themselves pretended did not exist. This juncture transcends pride. It is a matter of survival, for their soul feels incomplete without your presence serving as their anchor. Your soulmate is preparing to take a daring step that will fundamentally alter the dynamics between you. Moving beyond attempting to regain control, they are intent on reclaiming you. Their actions are now governed by their heart, leading them toward a gesture that encompasses everything they withheld: unvoiced love, unexpressed fear, unacknowledged desire, and undisclosed truths. They are poised to affirm that this connection was never casual nor transient, and walking away from it without losing a fragment of themselves is no longer an option. When they finally step forward, revealing the depths of their silence, you will feel the intensity of someone who has come to realize, perhaps too late, that you were the one thing they should have cherished wholeheartedly. My dear, your soulmate is at a pivotal moment, where their emotions have grown too weighty to conceal, too consequential to dismiss, and too profound to overlook. They feel the simultaneous collapse and rebuilding of their inner world, and this turmoil is compelling them to confront truths they once buried beneath walls of pride and fear. Their thoughts continually circle back to a painful realization: you are no longer within their reach like before. You are evolving into a version of yourself that intimidates them, not due to any inadequacy, but because it radiates strength, brilliance, and independence beyond their expectations. Your growth has exposed the depths of their attachment, and they are barely holding themselves together as the pain of losing you becomes an undeniable reality. Their emotions are spiraling in ways they had never wished to experience. Every moment of distance inflicts greater wounds than they had anticipated, and every reminiscence of your past support delivers sharp reminders of their previously unrecognized value. They can feel the repercussions of their inaction, grapple with the weight of their silence, and starkly perceive how their hesitance carved space for doubt in your heart. The thought of you moving forward without glancing back, fully choosing yourself, selecting your peace and your worth, fills them with dread. They never imagined you would rise to this level, ascending to a space independent of their approval. This realization is driving them towards a resolution they can no longer delay. Something within them is breaking open, something raw, vulnerable, and undeniable. They are recalling every subtle detail associated with you, your attentive listening, your authentic care, the efforts you exerted without expectation. These memories have now transformed into precious treasures they failed to safeguard. The prospect of losing you overwhelms them before it even materializes, and that impending loss is intolerable. It urges them to confront a truth from which they previously shied away. You were their safest haven, and losing you equates to losing a part of their own spirit. This awareness dismantles their lingering ego, exposing the reality that they cannot afford to procrastinate on what they should have articulated long ago. Their next action surfaces with an irresistible momentum, a culmination of every unsent message, each unexpressed sentiment, and every silenced fear. They desire to reach you with clarity, to articulate themselves in ways that resonate with the depth of their emotions, and to share what they once considered too risky to unveil. Their heart pushes them toward you with a desperation rooted in the apprehension that tomorrow may come too late. They have replayed a myriad of scenarios to approach you, countless methods to convey their sincerity, and all roads converge on the same conclusion: they are ready to uncover everything, even if it means embracing a vulnerability they previously avoided. Their soul recognizes that this is their last opportunity to validate what you truly mean to them. Your soulmate is poised to shatter every barrier that has held them back, ready to advance with authenticity rather than confusion, with emotion instead of silence, and with presence rather than inconsistency. They are losing control not out of weakness but because their heart has fully taken over. The fear of losing you has eclipsed their fear of revealing their truth. They are on the verge of an action that will unmistakably demonstrate the depth of their feelings, the regret behind their previous hesitations, and the newfound determination they possess to fight for a connection they once believed was secure. Their forthcoming decision will unveil everything within them, every emotion, every desire, and every truth they have concealed. In that moment, the intensity of their realization will become undeniable. They are not merely losing control over you, they are acknowledging your true worth. My dear child, your soulmate is now at a crucial juncture where their emotions have transformed from a quiet storm into an uncontainable eruption. Each aspect of their being is quaking under the immense weight of their feelings, the urgent actions they must take, and the fear of what they may lose if they delay even a moment longer. You occupy their thoughts to the extent that it has become unmanageable. They can no longer distract themselves, feign indifference, or hide behind a facade of control. You have become the focal point of every decision they attempt to make. Ironically, the more they strive for logical reasoning, the greater the pull of their heart toward the undeniable truth they have sought to suppress for too long. you are the connection their soul has intentionally selected. Losing you would shatter them in ways they are finally courageous enough to acknowledge. Now, attention follows them relentlessly, settling heavily in their chest like an unshakable burden. They replay your conversations, your silences, your presence, and your absence, each recollection revealing newfound understanding of their past failures. They can feel the distance between you widening sharply, like a thread on the verge of snapping. The sight of you embracing your power, recognizing your self-worth, and evolving beyond the confines of their indecision fills them with trepidation. They never anticipated that you would arrive at a point where you willingly cease to wait for their actions, where your heart no longer revolves around them. But as they witness your ascent, reclaiming your energy and outgrowing the space they left for you, they find themselves propelled into an emotional urgency that utterly eclipses their pride. They often envision your life without them, and that prospect rattles their very foundation. The image of another person stepping into your world, someone who immediately appreciates your value, who acts decisively, and who consistently shows up, haunts them, invading their thoughts at night and disrupting their days. It compels them to confront an undeniable reality: you were never a fleeting comfort or a transient emotion, nor were you simply an alternative to consider later. You were the steadfast connection they should have cherished and defended. Now that this truth has crystallized for them, the fear of losing you has evolved into the most potent motivation they have ever experienced. Their next move is taking shape with an intensity that feels irrevocable, as they prepare to disclose something they have concealed for far too long, a truth that elucidates their silence. Distance and hesitation. This revelation is not something they will convey lightly. It is a burden they have carried for months, weighing heavily on their heart each time they gazed at you with unexpressed emotion. They stand ready to unveil the full depth of their motivations, to present a vulnerability they have never shared with anyone else, and to dismantle every barrier they previously erected to protect themselves from the risk of loving you openly. This is not a casual action. It is their soul compelling them to speak before fear can once again steal this moment away. Your soulmate is on the brink of approaching you in a manner that dismantles every repetitive pattern they have adhered to. They are finished with the pretense of indifference, the retreat into emotional avoidance, and allowing their fears to guide their future. Their heart has taken the reins, propelling them toward honesty, bravery, and transparency. They are poised to reveal a truth that has the potential to transform everything between you. Unlike before, this time, they will not advance with doubt. They will move with intensity, urgency, and the unfiltered clarity of someone who realizes they are mere moments away from losing the individual who has profoundly altered their life with effortless grace.